non-interference in the internal affairs of another state. But they reminded themselves also of another. The OAU, apart from the charter, has a resolution which I helped to move in Cairo in 1964. The borders of Africa are very artificial. Most African states are not natural entities. Like Tanganyika, they're a collection of tribes, and the borders don't make sense. Some of the borders are a straight line. Our former rulers took a straight line and argued where, say, put it there, but move it back there. And they moved and moved. Those are the kind of borders we have. And they cut tribes in between. So in Tanzania, for instance, 60% of the Maasai, you have heard of the Maasai, 60% of the Maasai are in Tanzania, 40% are in Kenya. Our southern border, the majority of the Makonde are in Mozambique. But we have a large part of the Makonde in Tanzania. At present, we have on the border with Rwanda, we have 600,000 refugees or 650,000 refugees from Rwanda. But actually, they're among their own people. They've just crossed that invisible border there, and they are living with their own people on the other side of the border. And some of us felt, and I felt particularly, that those borders, although they're stupid, we must keep them. We must not try and play about with them and say, disentangle them. Disentangling those borders would be a mess. Africa could just go into flame if we tried. So I moved that resolution in Cairo, 1964. Please respect the borders which we inherit from colonialism. And that provision has been accepted ever since. It's questioned by very few. But although we have respected that declaration, and we have also respected the charter, non-interference, we have actually ignored the fact that it's no use respecting the borders without respecting the people who are within those borders. We have paid scant respect to what happens to our own people within the countries in those borders. So sometimes we expel them, and recently in Zaire, now I'm going to talk to about Zaire. Zaire, I'm told, passed some law which said the so-called Banyamulenge are not Zaire citizens anymore. This was a change. That first, at independence, they were regarded as, citizens. And then later, a new law was passed which denationalized them. The Banyamulenge are not immigrants to Zaire. They're not. The kingdom of Rwanda was partitioned between the Germans and the Belgians. And the Belgians took a part of the kingdom of Rwanda, the traditional kingdom of Rwanda, with the people. So when we say respect that border, which was agreed between the Germans and the Belgians, we must also be saying respect the people whom you received under that partition. You can't turn around and say, we no longer want you. You are no longer citizens of our country. what are you going to do? Are you going to return them alone, or you return them with the piece of land? You can't say go home. Home where? We couldn't in Tanzania get fed up with the Maasai and say the Maasai go home to Kenya. Kenya is not their home. These are Maasai of Tanzania. And my friend Moi can't, for some reason or other, get fed up with the Maasai of Kenya and say go back to Tanzania. That it's not back to Tanzania.